Hey guys, guess what? Yeah, it's another video in two in a row, two days in a row, two videos in a row, whatever you want to call it. That unless if I take too long to edit this video, and yeah, if you see this on a different day, feel free to call me out. Then again, will you see this? Who knows? I might just delete this and you can't call me out anymore. Yeah, but anyway, I was rewatching Frieren while waiting for the Epic 7 Frieren collab, and I happened to run into very particularly interesting comments. Y'all, I don't get the hype. There doesn't seem to be anything greatly complex with Frieren, just an emotionally unintelligent elf who enjoys the little things in life because it's too far damn long for it to have a lasting purpose. And then there's someone more brilliant, even more genius than this guy, and says, dude, same. That's exactly how I felt. Just one episode in second episode, I was bored out of my mind. But since people keep talking about it, I'm going to give it one more chance to impress me. And trust, I'm hella simple, cheesy dad joke animation usually doesn't bother me nearly as much as it bothers most. So it's weird that I can't get through this. Let's go explain how these two geniuses are absolutely right, you know? Because let's look at the characters. First, we have Frieren, that, as the other guy mentioned, she's just an unintelligent elf that's naive, dumb, and doesn't even have the concept of time, as we clearly know. Then we have Himmel, that's a perverted, manipulative, liar, and faker. That's his words, not mine. Then on the third block, we have Hater. No, he's not a hater, but he could be, because he's a corrupt, alcoholic, drunk, lying priest. Again, his words, not mine. And if you watched my Weather Waves 2.0 to 2.4 video, you hella know those are the priests I hell hate the most. Moving on, we have Eisen. That's the biggest faker and biggest coward of them all. Nothing else. He's really just simple. An old as dwarf that can't even forge something to save his life or kill a measly dragon. Let's see, did I miss anyone? Ah, yeah, Flame. I know that's a hag that lies to everyone and manipulates Frieren and gaslights her into, look, it's not good to show your power. Only so she can finally have a disciple that doesn't run away from her. Then we move on to Frieren's crew. We have Fern, that's a bitch ass jealous, manipulative, that you would think she's actually Himmel's daughter, with how many times she gets angry and jealous and beats on poor Stark, which, by the way, Stark is a maybe not as cowardly as his master, but he's a big coward and a liar as well. And finally, among all of these, we have the biggest outlier and the biggest liar of them all, Yubel. She loves to portray herself as this badass bitch that this here. I'll let you lick my armpit. I'll dominate you in the bed. I'll do every girl boss thing. But deep down, you know, she's just a kind lady that wouldn't hurt a fly. Because you can see that in the anime. She wouldn't hurt a fly. Okay, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get to the real meat and potatoes about these comments. Because I'm pretty sure you could see it in my tone in how hard it was to read these comments. Because some of them, probably English is not their main language. Well, it's not my main language either, could you tell? But especially in me and Trust, I hella simple. That's how I imagine him speaking. And yeah, honestly, what I said about frieren and the other casts is absolutely and totally true. That's how they are, at least at first glance. frieren is actually really a unintelligent elf that has no idea of the concept of time, not to mention of the concept of life of a human being, but you realize that after Himmel dies, she realizes that, wait, human lives are actually that short of a span, and I never even took the time to get to know Himmel, and you can see her regret and how she tries to get to know Fern, to get to know Heiter, to get to know Eisen, and later on tries to get to know Fern and Stark. Now, speaking of Heimel, again, all I said there was true at the first glance. You even see through Heimer's actions, and he even states in the spoilers, but you can even hear himself in the Sword Village, I think it was, episode, that he himself calls himself a faker because he can't pull the true hero's sword. But through that, maybe he's lying. Maybe you could say he's manipulating his party. Maybe you could argue that, but through his altruism and through his determination and probably sheer amount of will, he turns all those lies into absolute truths when he defeats the Demon King. So, yeah. Heiter, you might think I would hate the living hell out of this character. And if this was any other story or any other anime, you would have been 100, no, 1000% right. But Heiter, he is never afraid to show himself as he is. Even when Heimer calls him out, he's not going to deny it. If I remember right, there's even a scene where frieren actually tells him, "You're going to go to hell, Heiter," and if I remember right, he's saying, "You're probably right," but also what he did with taking in Fern is actually not that bad. You could see him growing and the effect Heimer had on him, and that's even more to say about Heimer. Even if you could argue that he was lying and manipulative, he actually changed the lives of everyone. There's that scene in the last episode where frieren actually confirms that Heimer changed a lot of lives. Fern, okay, hear me out. Yes, I was totally correct on saying what I said, even after the first glance. But yeah, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, because she does try to get along with Stark, especially after, what was the priest's names? The one that went in search for the gorilla guy? Shine? I'm totally butchering that name. I'm going to put his picture on over here so you can know. Aizen, well, he admits he's a coward. He even punches, again, spoilers, he even punches Stark because he's afraid of him. He's afraid that Stark is going to grow stronger than him. Flamme, we don't really know much about that, but that was the first impression I got, that she took frieren as her apprentice just so her memory would live on, but we actually know why she took her. Finally, Yubel. Well, do I actually need to say anything? That was totally misinterpreted and lying to your face. Cause yeah, she does show she has empathy. In fact, the empathy she has is the reason why she can steal spells, but that empathy is not really connected with kindness or anything like that. She's the type of girl that if you cheat on her, she wouldn't hesitate to cut you in half, and you wouldn't even see it. Literally. So yeah, all these two comments are brain dead comments from someone that most likely has only seen shonen animes, and if there's not something shiny in their face, wiggling, or an explosion or something that catches their attentions, then the show is boring. They're probably the same kind of people that said, "Ooh, Sanjin Woo is crying. Why didn't he just kill his mother and transform her into a shadow? That would have been badass, man." No, you're just a troglodyte. So my review for frieren is 8 out of 10. Why 8 out of 10? Because there's nothing that's... okay, maybe 9 out of 10, now that I think about it. Because a 10 out of 10 doesn't really exist unless you actually empathize with the character, or it relates with you on a deeper level, like Sakuraso related to me. So yeah, I do hope you like this kind of videos. Just me and you guys talking to you guys, because these are the type of videos that I wish to make from now on. No more scripts, no more AI professionalism or that jazz. Just me talking to the camera and talking to you guys. And until then, take care, and may your gachapurs be blessed.